Hello everyone, it's Cherie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little craft with me, and I got the itch to play with my vintage playing cards. So I decided that I wanted to make more than one little pocket using my cards, Collage Pocket, and use up some scraps as well. So I have this little tin here, and it's like a little vintage recipe tin, and anytime I see them when I'm out and about, I like to pick them up and keep my cards in them, that I like, the cards that I have by my desk in a drawer that I can just pull from and use when I want to store them in. So I'm just going through them, and I'm just trying to pick out ones that I think that would go, like in future journals or future journal with me spread kind of things, So I've got some flowers and some kids, and just whichever one is calling my name, I guess you could say. And I'm gonna go through every single card. I went through every single one, and I got a nice big pile, which I only used, I think, 4. I had made some of these pockets the day before, I think it was, so I kind of knew what I was doing, and I wanted to make some more, but I decided that I would go ahead and turn on my camera. And if you can hear background noise, my son is here with me, and he can get a little noisy. It's daytime, and typically I do these voiceovers in the morning, but I had the time today, so I was like, let me go ahead and do it. So I'm just, like I said, I'm going through these cards, and I knew I wanted to use my scraps, and any kind of project that I use my scraps in is always a good thing, because I love playing with my scraps. So I've got these leftover pieces from journal covers that are in different, various other projects, scraps of manila folders. So I'm going to cut these down to 5x4. Those are the pieces that I'm going to use, and then I'll have a few that are a little bit smaller, but that's okay. I can use them for something else. But my measurement I was really wanting was 5x4. So I'm trying to figure out which card I want to use and which way I want to put my vintage playing card, because I was thinking I can collage the manila folder, and then just stitch my card on there and make it like a little side tuck. So it'll kind of be like two little pockets together, or a pocket and a side tuck. So the first one that I'm using is that little card with the little girl and her teddy bear, which is really cute. And then these here are my my bags of neutral scraps, and one of them are like blank scraps. So it has like ledger paper and graph paper and just different lined papers, or there's no writing on any of the scraps. And then the other bag has little pieces of neutral paper that has writing on it. And then I showed you my other two, my little purple basket there. It has my scraps from, like, basically anything that's not scrapbook paper. So it's got mostly printable scraps in it. And then my other little tray has my scrapbooking paper scraps in it. And those two, that little basket and that tray, I just kind of keep in a drawer to my left, so that whenever I go to reach for them, they're the two main scrap bins that I pull from on a regular basis. So what I'm doing is I'm just going through this little bin, and I'm trying to pull pieces that I feel complement that little playing card. So that playing card had yellow, green, blue, and orange in it. So that's kind of what I was going for. And then I knew that I wanted to have basically like a neutral background on all of them, and then just kind of throw little pops of color onto the pocket, onto the card itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start gluing this down, the pieces that I picked out, and I get really messy, just so y'all know, you're forewarned. My table gets scraps galore all over the place on it, and I kind of like, usually whenever I craft, I kind of craft myself into like a tiny little space. And then, you know, you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, where did this come from? I didn't even realize I was doing this. But yeah, so I'm just putting some neutral scraps down. I think I've got a piece from the middle piece, I believe, is from one of Johanna's kits, and then that top piece is the rice paper from Rachel at Roxy Creations, and then the bottom piece there is just a little scrap from like a vintage business paper. It might have even been like a roller paper, but I liked the lines on it with the text. So, and then that is just, you know, like a little ledger with writing on it. So I'm just going to go through, and then I'm going to throw just, you know, different various pieces on there. Like that one is the top of a vintage sewing pattern, and it says 50 cents, and in Canada 60 cents. Isn't that crazy? 50 cents for a sewing pattern. Sheesh, if only. So this little piece here, and I'm going to add a little bit of color, and it's got some yellow and blue and a little bit of red in it, so it goes, it complements the card. So the whole time that I'm doing it, I'm kind of looking at my card and comparing the colors. And I could have left that left side blank because the plain card would cover that up. And I thought about it, but then, I don't know, it just kind of felt unfinished, and I was like, I just wanted to do it. So I kind of was just putting stuff there that, you know, like either just something that wasn't like a tea-dyed paper, like that one, yeah, just like a little piece of tea-dyed paper, because I just couldn't leave it blank. I had to cover it up. And I'm going to go ahead and put that little piece of sewing pattern there. And I really wanted like a little bit more blue, and I think that that is just a scrap from an Amity Bloom paper as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and tear that down and glue it on there. And I like that I feel like on the card, when I look at the card, I see the blue, like the blue stands out. So I wanted, like, you know, I wanted a good pop of blue on my pocket as well. And then I've got this little roller thing here. I think it's called a brayer, and I love it for, it just works out so great whenever I'm doing stuff like this, just, you know, smush this stuff down. And then I wanted a little bit of washi. I wanted some orange, and I have like this thin roll of washi, so I stick that down there, and then I go ahead and I put another little piece on the left hand side, because I knew whenever I was going to stitch my cards on, I didn't want to put my cards all the way to the left. I kind of wanted to just leave like a little space on the left hand side, just so you could see the pattern peeking through, a little bit of the pattern. So now I'm on to my green color, and I'm just going to have a little bit of green popping through. Not much, just a tiny little bit, but it works. So when I'm done with the card, I'm just setting it to the side because I know that I'm going to stitch it, and I'm going to go ahead and emboss them as well. And I will show you that process whenever, you know, whenever we get there. So now I'm moving on to the next one, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna find me a little card, and I really liked this fishing one just because it's something that I know that I can use in the future because my husband does fish, and I like the way that it looked, and it was kind of more, it wasn't as girly, you know, it's not as floral, it's not like a pretty kind of, I mean it's pretty, but it's not like a girly pretty, and so it's a little bit different than what I typically do or use. So I picked that one. So I'm gonna go in with my neutrals again and just kind of use same thing. I'm just gonna use pops of color along the way, and that is just a scrap of ledger. And these were really fun to do, and they were super easy. So if you have playing cards that you haven't used in a long time, you can try it out. It was lots of fun. I want to make some more, even though I think I've made about, I don't know, maybe 10 so far. And I probably have to make like 100 to even put a dent in my scraps. But yeah, it was fun. It is fun. So you guys will have to let me know if you enjoy this type of video, if you like watching, you know, these little craft with me's. Because a lot of the times when I am working, I don't, or playing in my craft room, I don't really turn on my camera that often. Usually it's just, you know, the journal with me's mainly. So with this one, I'm using some scraps of map paper, some ledger paper, and some more of that, I don't know if it's straw paper or rice paper, I can't remember which, from Rachel at Roxy Creations, which I love. It just kind of like, I don't know, it like melts into the paper. Like when you put it on there, it just melts on there, so smooth and easy, so pretty. And then I wanted that, I liked that little envelope there, that vintage envelope that had the yellow and the blue stripe on it. So I just tore a little piece of that off. And I really like the stamps too, but I felt like that they were too big. They would kind of take away from the card itself. And I wanted, you know, my main focus to be my plain card. So I'm throwing some more of that green on there, and I had like a little scrap. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that little piece that I just put down in the right hand corner was just like a little leftover piece from a antique receipt, I think it was, or a letter, and it said the year I think was 1911, and I liked how that looked. So, and then I also used some little pieces of fabric as well. I used fabric on a couple of them. And once you emboss, like once I run these through my embosser, it really mashes everything down, and you can't, I mean, you can tell that it's fabric, you can feel that it's fabric, but it blends in so well. So I was looking at it, and I wanted, like, there's like, you know, there's little pops of red on the card in the sky, and the boat is red, and it's almost like a reddish orange, and I just wanted a tiny little piece. So I just grabbed my washi, and this ticket washi had like a little striped spot, and I liked it, so I just added just a little bit of that over there on the corner. And I mean, you can tell that it's there, so you know, it worked. I liked it. So that one's done. So 2 down, 2 to go. And I'm going to go back to my cards, and I decided to go girly. And I like this little floral here. It's cute. And I'm just gonna keep on keeping on the way that I've been doing. So I'm gonna go in my basket and I'm just gonna pull out some scraps that I feel the colors complement that card. So I've got some pink and some blue and just, you know, little random pieces. And it's funny too, because like sometimes when I put scraps in my bin, I think, why am I even keeping this? There's no way I'm going to use this tiny little thing. But excuse me, but I usually do end up using it, even though it is a tiny little thing. So I like my little bits. So I just went ahead and I grabbed like this sewing pattern paper here, and I wanted the text. I wanted some text on there, and I'm just doing my same, you know, doing neutrals with pops of color. I kind of wanted to try like doing like I have, you know, your little cutoff strips from your scrapbooking paper, your branding strips. I was thinking about using those as, you know, just doing lines all the way down and then putting a card on there with like a whole bunch of pattern and then a card, but I haven't done it yet, so I'm not sure if it would look right or if it would take away from the plain card, you know, but I can try it. I can try it out one of these days. So I found that scrap of ledger there, and I like that it had the page number on it still, and I did debate a little bit whether or not to put it on the left side or the right side, but I ended up putting it on the left side. So page 264 of that ledger is now going to be a pocket, and I'm using that same paper there that I love. And I bought a pack, and I bought a pack a long time ago. I've had it for probably at least a year, if not 2 years, and because I hoard it so much, I still have so much of it. So, and I've used it in quite a few projects as well. So, I'm really glad that I still have some. And then there was this little sheep, and I don't know, he was just kind of calling my name. He was so cute. So I stuck him up there, and I wasn't for sure if I was going to put him down or not. So a lot of times what I do is I'll just lay it down where I think I want to put it and just let it rest there while I move on. And then if I know I want to keep him, then, you know, it just kind of helps my decision making, I guess you could say. So I really wanted to use this blue because I felt like that blue really went well with the blue that was in the card. But I was having a little bit of a struggle trying to figure out where I wanted to put it. But it eventually found a home. So I have been playing with my scraps a lot lately, and like I said, you guys will have to let me know if you enjoy this kind of thing or not. And then I'll turn the camera on more often whenever I'm playing around. So yeah, so I wasn't 100% sure where I wanted to put that little sheep, and then I had pulled out a little piece of purple fabric, and then I grabbed some tissue paper because I wanted there to be some sort of text on that rice paper or straw paper, whatever it is. If y'all know what it is, leave me a comment. Let me know. Is it rice paper or is it straw paper? I can't remember. So I just grabbed a little piece of tissue paper and from a sewing pattern that had text on it and just glued that down. And that worked out good. And then I'm just going to stick my little pop of purple in there. And my little sheep. And he's so cute. I think that one is Principal from Johanna as well. Little Bindi on Etsy. And then this one, I thought it would just be fun because it is, you know, a picture of some food. and in my head I was thinking, well, this would probably work in, you know, a story about food, which I do in my journal, or it would go in like a kitchen journal or a farm journal. And I've been wanting to do a farm journal and a kitchen journal for the longest time, and I know it will happen one day. So, and then I also found this scrap of children's dictionary page, and it had a bowl on it. And then you saw me rip off the paper that I was using that's underneath my card there. It had a pot. It's actually a page from like an old recipe book, and I've been using those book pages lately for my crafting because I have so many of them and they just work out good. They're a nice big size, and if I need to cut them down, I can cut them down. And then that is just, you know, scrap from a antique something or another. So yeah, and then the dictionary page says a bowl is a deep dish. I really liked how this one turned out. I like how they all turned out, but I really like this one a lot. I'm kind of excited to use it. So I'm going to go back in with this straw/rice paper question mark and use some, I guess I use that in just about every card. So I like how it, when I emboss, I like that you can really see the image come through on that paper. It just kind of shows up really well. And this paper here is another page, or maybe the same page from that, where the sheet came from. And that little spot there that I'm putting down, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of an old tablecloth. So that's why I chose that. And it was the right color. And then I'm just going to use my washi to give it a pop of green. And then that is that grid paper. I know I'm kind of telling you guys about all my scraps, but whenever I watch other people's videos, I always, you know, wonder, oh, well, I wonder what that's from, or where'd they get that? And then that little pot that I had from that page. And then I remembered that I had my little vintage bowl piece there, but I didn't want to just put the word bowl down, so I just used the definition part. So it's kind of like, you know, it's in the theme of things. But yeah, I really like this one. And then once again, I have like that little spot there. And then this is washi that had some, it's like a measurement washi. And I just used like the little dashes of the measurement. But that little spot there was kind of bugging me. So I found this little piece that had some, like it was, I don't know, you can see it. It's one of them days, y'all. It had money, the money cents on it, and that's what I liked. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to emboss these. And I just picked out some folders that I thought would, you know, go with the cards. So I'm just going to run through one of these, and then I think I showed you what they look like. So this one is the food one, and then the little girl and the fishing. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch these on, and usually I will put like a little bit of glue, like use my glue stick to tack something down if I'm going to sew it. But because the cards have like a varnish on them, the glue stick wasn't really working very well, so I just paper clipped it. And then this is the finished project. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, if you got plain cards, break them out. It's a lot of fun. You can use your scraps, and they're pretty and they're fun. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I hope you're all doing well and having fun in your craft room. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.